Nuremberg Code 1947. It was an international prosecution that decided the fate of Nazi war criminals and was developed after the Second World War, after the Germans used people as guinea pigs in the concentration camps and 3.5 million were sterilized. In essence, crimes against humanity. This set the legal precedence for international trials for war criminals such as Japanese, Rwanda, and former Yugoslavia. Mere weeks before the Allies marched into Germany and Dresden was bombed, the German people actually thought that they were winning the war based on what their government was telling them. People should realize that never in the history of our planet and the pathetic species of Homo sapiens has the masses ever been right about anything when it comes to human conduct and organization. It's always been the minority that has been rational, but also alienated, vilified, discredited, thrown to the side. Though this minority is the largest dissenting minority on any topic in the history of the world. Why am I talking about this? Well, we need to think about the state of the world we are in right now and get our heads on correctly. If people would listen to what is being said, everything that I and many of my like-minded individuals have been telling people for years now is actually coming true. What we need now is united non-compliance. It's not about safety anymore, it's about control. I did this video a couple days ago, however it got taken down because I used certain words that I was not supposed to. So I'll be changing the lingo on some of the wording here so that we're not flagged. So bear with me on this, but you'll understand what I'm talking about. Everything is geared towards showing your papers, closing your business, making you only operate at 10 to 50%, not promoting natural remedies, and telling people to wear what I like to call face diapers. Those are a signal of submission. At this point, it's medical tyranny that's happening and not bodily autonomy. Did you know that in Canada alone, there are over 43,000 registered sex offenders? Now think about this. Why do these sex offenders not have to walk around with a QR code or go around showing their paperwork around? Because it's against your rights. That's why. And why are some people pushing this? Well, the results are in. And the weak and the brainwashed in society, they won't accept personal responsibility and don't want to hear about it. Your weight, your metabolic health, your personal lifestyle choices, those are much bigger factors at beating the odds than it is than taking a toxic Jabberwocky and getting a free donut at the end. And one thing I've realized throughout this whole event right now is that people these day and age would much rather live in a comfortable lie than an uncomfortable truth. And I'm not saying that I am anti-science. Anti-science would be reading a box of face diapers and seeing that it says will not protect you against viral infections and still deciding to wear a face diaper. That is anti-science. So the question now also is, at what point does news become propaganda? The elites watch people die every day from the lack of health care, from drugs, from homelessness, from crime, and don't bat an eye. And now you think they care deeply about what's going on? That's the real joke. And what we have now is psychological warfare, because people think that they can vote themselves out of tyranny. And my question to that one is, when was the last time that ever worked in history? No matter who you vote for, they are all going to be the same. They all work for the same master in behind the scenes. And the people that you are seeing on the television are simply puppets that are masquerading around as being there for the people. Now, the removal of the face diapers and opening up of the businesses, this is all temporary, just to pacify people, to lower their guard a little bit. And come September, just wait, we got a few more days until September, and the rug will be pulled from underneath all of us once again, and we'll be back at square one, and people will be at each other's throats again. Now, their next agenda, as you can see, start rolling out, are they're coming for the children. And the reason that they're doing that is, if you think about it, look how easy the adults have been to mold since this whole nonsense has started. And if you can mold the adults so easily, how easy is it to mold the kids when they don't know left from right or what's right or wrong? My thing is, why are we enforcing these face diapers on the kids when they're in school, when you can go to a restaurant and sit down and remove your face diaper? Let me get one thing right here though. I still, to this day, still have not worn one of those face diapers and refuse to do so. So that's where I'm at on that. But going back to the desks and whatnot, maybe we should be replacing the desks in the schools with restaurant tables. That way it becomes more acceptable and the kids can actually breathe without wearing a face diaper and breathing in their toxins. And the sad thing that I've noticed from day one is that there are many more women these days that are standing up for what's going on than men. And that's my question, is where have all the men gone? It seems like the women nowadays have grown a bigger set than men. And this brings me back to a quote that I saw not too long ago, and it goes along the lines of hard times create strong men, strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. And that quote could not be any more right this day and age than ever, because nowadays we have exactly that, a bunch of weak men that will just go along following orders and not standing up for what's right. And you might be saying that things aren't that bad, they're getting better and whatever. Like I said, it's all about lowering your guard. You can see things starting to go back in what they call the wrong direction. And if you want to see what's going to be coming to North America, you need to look into Australia and see exactly what's going on there, as well as in France, but mostly in Australia, because that's where they're testing everything on that group of people there, and eventually they're going to bring that up to North America as well. And if people keep their mouths shut for any longer, it's just going to get worse. Now the thing is, come this fall, they're going to be changing up the storyline now. The numbers, of course, are going to be going up, and what they're going to do is get the people that have this going against the people that don't have this, and blaming those ones. And now they're telling people that they need to go for their third or fourth one of these because your first and second one of these didn't work out so well. So now they're going to implement the third and fourth, fifth and sixth, and by the time you get to your 10th one, you're going to be entitled to 10% off on your next hot dog. Now, I don't think that they want any of this to go away. There's a saying that always goes around in the community of health, or what they call health these days, is a client cured is a customer lost. So if you think about it, who's making all the money? Do they really want any of this to stop? And basically what they're doing nowadays is dividing the sheep from the lions. And being on the wrong side of history never ended well for the sheep. Now, there's a difference between education and indoctrination. Indoctrination is memorizing that Hitler killed 6 million Jews. And education is understanding how millions of ordinary Germans were convinced that it was required of them. Education is learning how to spot the signs of history repeating itself. Now, everything that's going on right now is a vehicle to martial law and the collapse of the system as we know it in order to establish another one. If you're still running around telling people to follow orders and guidelines, I have about 6 things to tell you right now. First off, they are not law. Second of all, I want nothing to be like you. I've never tried to live up to anybody's standards, and I'm not about to. 3, I don't want to go anywhere that you are going. Number 4, I don't respect your judgment anymore. You're still asleep. Number 5, I don't trust that you're in the right state of mind to be making decisions for me. Number 6, I will simply not follow. I make my own path. I always have, be it the right way, the wrong way, the hard way, the easy way. But, you know, I do it for myself. I don't follow the masses so that I don't enter into confrontations. Or I think critically. I think for myself. I just don't follow the leader or the masses. And if you think about it, you remove the M from masses, it creates a different word, and that kind of is more appropriate to what's going on right now. Many people would be scared if they saw in the mirror not their faces, but their true character. Now, if you're gonna walk around asking me for my papers, if I got the thing that we're not supposed to talk about, I have a question for you. One, if you're a female, when is the last time that you got a pap smear? And if you're a male, when is the last time that you got a pap smear? Because it's quite obviously obvious that you have not had a pair in a very long time. Now, you might ask me what this has to do with a pap smear. It's the same type of question. It's none of your business. So what do we need to do? Businesses, they need to stay open when they come to close down again. We need to make sure that we remove all the face diapers off the children because they do them no good. Actually, they do them more harm. Kids are actually visual learners, and they learn from seeing facial expressions. And if we have face diapers on their faces, obviously we're going to have a society of kids that will not know how to communicate. And another point I'd like to bring out here is also, if you have a child that is 18 months old, your child has lived 18 or all its life without any rights. If you have a kid that's 3 years old, your kid has lived half its life without knowing what freedoms are. We need the employees of any establishment to band together when they come for you. And we just need people as a whole to band together, no matter what your outlook is on the current events. And you know what's going on is wrong right now. So you might have been fooled before, but many are waking up, and those that are not waking up, there is actually no hope, because you're contributing to the problem. The next thing we need to do is get right with the Word of God. Everything that's happening right now is evil. So get your mind and soul in line with the one Creator. Second of all, we need to get back to basics. There's going to be a massive food shortage coming up. Get your seeds together, learn how to grow, get your things ready for what's about to happen. One thing you can do is form prepper groups or a MAG group, which stands for Mutual Assistance Group. Anyone in the BC area or even Alberta that wants to get in on this, I'm going to be starting one here on the property and working with people in the area. So if you want to join what I'm starting up here, I'm going to leave you an email down below, and you can email me directly and we'll chat and see about getting something going. As anyone can see, we are not in normal times anymore. A new global system is being established based on carbon tax and depopulation of the people, along with Satanism. You can see that happening right across the board, where the Christians are just being decimated and not allowed to practice their faith. Now, some of you might say, let the courts handle it. Well, if you've been following any of the court cases, you can see that they have been corrupted and paid off as well. Now, if you ever get approached by anyone in any sort of authority, simply ask them, do you have a contract with them? This brings us back to what we are as human beings. Everything is based on contracts. And if you do not have a contract with somebody, they have no authority over you. And if it's a police officer coming, you ask them if they're under oath to the Queen, or are they working as enforcing commercial code. And when you get that answer there, if they're enforcing commercial code, produce a contract. If they are there for the Queen, then they need to uphold their oath and ensure the safety of the people and their property. If you would like me to elaborate any more on contracts and how that works, hit me up also down in the email below, and I will give you a quick little rundown on how to deal with anyone acting in a official capacity. Vote with your dollars. Don't support any business that supports show me your papers, or putting a face diaper on, or segregation, discrimination, any of that stuff. The only businesses that we go into are the ones that accept that. Kimberly and I have traveled all across Canada and been living through the same times, and what we do before we go to any business is we call ahead and ask them, do they discriminate against people that can't do certain things or don't have certain things and don't have the paperwork. If they do, we simply won't go there and go find someone else. And if they do, or if we do have to go to that store after talking to them, either myself or Kimberly, we will just simply walk in there and deal with it face to face to anybody who approaches us. And that's kind of what we need. We need people to not comply and tell these people that what they're doing is not right. It's only when these businesses feel the absence of our dollars will our words finally make sense. Work out and train for war. These people are coming for our human rights and our future. Eat properly, take your supplements, take your vitamins, lay off the booze, lay off the processed food, skip the dishes, turn the TV off, exercise, work your mind, educate yourself. That's what we need to do. This reminds me of a quote by Malcolm X. It's nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality or anything. If you're a man, you take it. And the final quote that I also want to leave off on this video is one by Benjamin Franklin. Those who give up essential liberty to purchase a little bit of safety deserve neither safety nor liberty. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.